everyone, this is Kurt ASMR. I hope you're doing really well today. So in today's video I would like to go through my winter fragrance wearing. Now when I went through all the fragrances that I've been wearing over the winter, I actually got a bit of a shock because it's like nearly all of my collection. It's like I have about 40 fragrances because it's a huge hobby of mine. And I'm sure that my fall fragrance, autumn fragrance wearing was a lot shorter, but maybe just because I bought quite a few new ones over the winter and I've been trying them out that I have worn more. I've been travelling, so I've been wanting to try even like summery ones. So to stop this video being too long, I'm going to break it into two parts because it's a lot of fragrances that I've been wearing over the winter. And in my defence, this winter has felt in the UK, where I live at the moment, this winter has felt like it's lasted like 3 years, and the summer wasn't that great last year either, so it just feels like it's been a long, cold, often quite gloomy winter, so yeah, we'll see. Yeah, but anyway, let's get on with the video. And the way I've done this, just for no reason at all, just for randomness, is that I've sort of done it by my least worn to my most worn. So at the end of part 2 you'll see my most worn fragrance over the winter. Alright, let's start anyway. Alright, the first one is this one. This is Kenzo Jungle, or Kenzo Jungle or Kenzo Jungle. It's the male version of Jungle. There's a female one as well, which is an elephant, but this is kind of supposed to represent a zebra with this kind of fun brush on the back. I'm a sucker for Kenzo fragrances. This was actually launched in 1998, but I bought it for the first time, I think around sort of late summer, early fall last year. Thought I'd treat myself. I just say I love Kenzo fragrances, and this smells like it's an animalic musky fragrance. It starts off with lime and then it's got spices in, so it's got like cinnamon, like a cinnamon note, I think. And at first I wasn't sure about it. I felt like it was a bit too animalic, but yeah, I'm still starting to get to appreciate it now. I've only given this a couple of sprays for the odd winter evening. I don't go out much anyway, and I haven't really worn this out, but excuse me, yeah, just to try on a winter evening, and I'm really starting to get to like it now, even though I haven't used much at all. I say I've not had it for very long. It's kind of like one of those ones that grows on you, but yeah, it's the sprayer is just like that. It's a cool bottle actually, sort of concaves like that, so that's it. Yeah, very nice, yeah. I just got that lime, that blast of lime that you get at the opening is very zingy and refreshing, but then it dries down to like a musky cinnamon, musky spicy, and it shouldn't work like lime, sour and sweet kind of, but it does, somehow it does, yeah. But that's Kenzo Jungle. Alright, next, I've not been wearing this much, even though it's one of my top 10 favourite fragrances of all time. This is Ebony Wood by Zara. Now, you can still get this. They discontinued it, but then they re-released it in a different bottle, and people say with a slightly lighter smell, but I smelled the new bottle when I was in France, and kind of wish I'd bought it because it smelled pretty close to me. I love Ebony Wood. It's a wood, just basically a very woody fragrance. That's the bottle there. I first got a sample of this from a friend of mine in Germany, like a little 10 ml vial, and I had to buy a full bottle because I just loved it so much. And the perfumer is actually Jo Malone. She did a collab with Zara, and I really love this one. So, and I haven't worn this much because I love it so much. I've kind of been rationing it because I don't want to use it all up. like, yeah, come on, it's time to get the Ebony Wood out, but definitely not worn it as much as I would have liked. I can't remember if I've worn it much in fall either. I can't remember if that makes an appearance in my fall fragrance wearing video. Yeah, so that's Ebony Wood, really nice, just woody. That's pretty much all there is to it, woods. With some, again, with probably some spices in there. I don't have my Mac with the notes. I'm not really going to talk about the notes from Fragrantica, because otherwise the video would be too long. But I know vaguely what notes are in some of these fragrances. All right, this is another one I've kind of been rationing. This is Moschino Toy Boy in the black teddy bear bottle. He's so cute. This is my second bottle of this because I got it for Christmas about 4 years ago, and I loved it so much. It's one of those ones that I would wear all the time, and yeah, used it up. I think I had a 50ml. This is a 50ml as well, or it might even be a 60. That's a 50. It's a 50. Sometimes fragrances come in odd sizes like 60, 125, 75, but this is straight up 50. And this is a rose-based fragrance, so what you get is this sort of rose, and then you get lots of spices, like maybe like sage cardamom. It's rose, spicy fragrance, very different. Yeah, it's very, very popular, and yeah, all fragrances are unisex. Definitely, you could wear this if you're, however you identify. But yeah, I really love it. Again, because I don't want to run out too fast again, I've been rationing it, but I've worn it a couple of times during winter, but not, maybe not as much as I would like. So that's Toy Boy by Moschino. Oh, I do love that smell though. So this hopefully is going to last me a couple more years at least, because I haven't used much at all. Yeah, my mum actually bought me a new bottle. She bought me the first one for Christmas, then she bought me a new bottle when I ran out. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that. So, all right, next, this is one I got in Belgium from a chain of perfume shops called Easy Paris XL. They're a perfume shop, and they do their own sort of little own brand perfumes, which are really cheap for like €20. So it's like $20. And they're basically like dupes of existing fragrances. This one, for example, smells to me very much like Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Mal. So, does it feel like being out in a storm? I don't know, because it's got that sort of vanilla, lavender, spicy scent. I don't know if it's reminiscent of being in a storm. Maybe there's a slightly ozonic quality to it, but very much Le Mal to me. I get that vibe, but just because you could only get them in these chain shops in Belgium, I was like, well, it's a bit exclusive, even though it's cheap, and it's a nice souvenir of my my travels to Belgium, which I went there for my birthday last year, and finally bought these, having I'd smelled them like on a previous trip, and then I was like, I really want these quirky little cheap exclusive bottles. The next one is, and and all of these, there's 3 of them, all of these I kind of wore every now and then, but they're actually like nice comfort scents. So this one is called Limitless Sky, and again it's like a sort of pale blue juice, slightly deeper blue than the Out in the Storm pale blue juice, and this smells to me exactly like Boss Bottle number 6, which is an apple pie cinnamon fragrance that's been going since 1998. That's like a greenish colour. If you know fragrances, you know Jean-Paul, Boss Bottle number 6. I used to own a couple of bottles of that. The last bottle I owned of that was really weak, poor projection. I was really disappointed. This one lasts longer than that, actually. These are all eau de parfum concentrations. Yeah, it's Boss Bottle number 6, very much like that. So yeah, okay. Next, I'm rattling through these because I don't want the video to be too long. Wild Sidewalk. So this is this is trying to imitate. I got a feeling it might be like a Dolce & Gabbana or a Burberry type fragrance. I don't recognise it as anything but, yeah, just based on the other two being sort of little dupes. And this is probably my favourite of the three. It's very ambery. It's like a warm ambery, slightly spicy, but not too spicy. It's just very smooth and ambery, very warm, comforting. It's one I wear when I don't know what to wear, and it's just a nice comforting scent. And I've used more of this than the other two, so just because it is different, I can't like identify it as something that I've owned before. I've owned Dolce & Gabbana, the one, and I've smelt light blue, and I've smelt Burberry, but certainly never owned Burberry. But I don't know, I can't quite ID this one. But Burberry sort of, I feel like do those sort of warm, slightly ambery fragrances. But anyway, it's a nice little dupe of something, and it's a very nice fragrance anyway. So there's those little 50ml ones as well. Alright, next, these are ones which I bought on the internet. I've got 3 now from Saint Hilaire, which are a French, like a clothing brand. And I bought this because it's got my fingerprints on it. I am a fan of like quirky, unknown brands from Europe, and I was curious about these, and they were like €17 online on My Origins. I did a whole in-depth review of them in a few videos back of these, because they probably are my most recent purchase. I think they might be, I'm not sure. Actually, I think they might be my most recent purchase. No, they're not actually. This is For Men Power. I like the golden juice colour. And actually, this smells quite a bit like Bentley For Men Intense. Not a great sprayer, actually. There we go. It takes a while to get going. Oh, I got a bit on the mic there. Oh yeah, it's very boozy, so it is powerful. But I also recently bought Bentley For Men Intense, and so I've got a smell alike basically. But it was like €17, so very cheap. I like this kind of textured bit of the cap here. This much because I just bought them recently, and I've just sort of been getting used to them really. So yeah. Now this one I'm actually wearing right now. This is my scent of the day. This is Saint Hilaire For Men Extreme, and unfortunately it's not very extreme. I'm a bit disappointed. It's hard to describe the smell as well. It's a slightly like fruity. It's not heavy at all. It's fruity. It's I put this on like literally about 3 hours ago, and it's slightly fruity, ambery, spicy. I don't know what's extreme about it, but yeah, there's a bit of an old school, but again, it's not nasty in that old school way. It's so smooth. It's very smooth. It's not going to offend anyone because it's going to be gone after a while. Bit disappointed with this one because I would have thought one called Extreme would at least have some power, but fortunately not. And it's not an extreme version of anything. It's just extreme. I don't know if it's trying to sort of imitate an existing fragrance, but it's. I mean, I just go crazy with this because it doesn't last very long, so, yeah. Oh well. Alright, next, this is the last Saint Hilaire one. I bought all 3. This is unique, and it kind of looked aquatic to me in the blue with the blue juice. But it's not actually that aquatic. It's a very interesting scent. It's very ozonic, it's got a strong pepper note in it, so it's kind of almost like this dusty pepper note, which I'm not sure if I liked. It's like one of those where I'm like, ooh, is this borderline giving me a headache, or do I like it? But ultimately, I think I do like it. It almost reminds me a bit of L'En Van L'Homme, which is kind of like an ozonic, almost like you're in an air bubble fragrance. So not aquatic, but ozonic is like a sort of airy, gassy, that sounded bad, but no, like an airy, ozonic fragrance with some pepper in it, so it is very different. It's not like a classic, juicy aquatic at all, it's not aquatic at all. But I've been wearing this quite a lot. I wore this for like 1 week straight just to get used to it, and I do really like it. It's a curio, definitely a curio. I don't think it's one that I'd buy again, but yeah, I do like these bottles though. They're nice and like chunky in your hand, and I'd say they look good on my shelf, but I keep all mine in their boxes. This is one of my Carven exclusive range. Carven is a French brand, yeah, I bought these. I splashed out when I was in Belgium last year again because I'd seen them on previous travels, and I was curious. I was curious about one of them, and then I just thought, if there's a range of 5, but I bought 4 because one of them I didn't like at all. But they're inspired by cities basically, and they're part of this sort of exclusive private range. So they're quite expensive. They're about €150 each. But I got a sort of big discount with this sort of loyalty card thing. So, and this is Paris Prague, and this is juniper berry, and I think lime as well. Very, very difficult to describe. I've never been to Prague, but I don't know what it smells like. But apparently it's inspired by Prague, and is it gin? I don't know. I don't drink, but yeah, I suppose it's like a very warm, this is probably one of the strongest fragrances I own. It's eau de parfum. Warm, not spicy as such, like warm, fruity, really strong, very comforting in winter. But you definitely have to go easy on the sprays on this one, but I've definitely been wearing this quite a lot. Again, not sure if I would buy it again. It's not my favourite of this range, but it's very interesting nonetheless. So yeah, that's Paris Prague by Carven. Next is, this is Carven's Paris Tangier, inspired by Tangier in Morocco. This is a citrusy fragrance. Not necessarily aquatic, but it's definitely citrusy. It's like a pale green juice. I remember the salesman actually in Belgium, in Brussels, came up to me and sprayed this on me and wanted me to buy it. And I bought it the second time, but he was really pushing this on me, and I really liked it at first. You get that grapefruit immediately. It's like such a strong grapefruit smell with a really woody backbone. Unfortunately, it doesn't last very long on my skin. I just don't feel like, for the price, I was getting good value out of this one, so I definitely wouldn't buy it again. But it's nice. Yeah, it's very grapefruity. Yeah, so that's Paris Tangier, but I will use that up. Even though it's more of a summery fragrance, I've worn it just 1 or 2 times in winter, just because I just wanted something light. That's not going to offend anyone. I might have worn this once to a movie, but yeah, it's not going to project, even though it's got a strong backbone. Okay, and this is the last one I've been wearing in winter, even though I have another Carven, which is Paris Alexandrie, inspired by Alexandria in Egypt. I don't wear that one because that's the one I wanted, and I've been rationing that one, saving that for special occasions, and I haven't had many of those recently. So, but this is Paris La Havane, inspired by Havana, and this is a tobacco fragrance, and I love it. I don't smoke. I do not encourage anyone to smoke. tobacco or yeah. And this has got like a fruit, some kind of fruits in there, I think, to just smooth it out. So you're not going to smell like you've been smoking cigarettes. It definitely smells like a fragrance, you know. It doesn't smell like an ashtray or something. It's very smooth, like a, yeah, like a, almost like a cherry tobacco. And it is quite strong. You do have to go easy on this. I wouldn't wear this to the movies or anything like that. But yeah, if you're in a crowded bar, this would be very nice. I love the dirty tobacco-y juice colour, you know, like, I do like that, yeah. Maybe CK1 Shock is the most well-known tobacco fragrance. I think you can still get that. And that's quite good too. I think I had a sample of that. Yeah, that's Paris La Havane. Okay. Alright, next, this is another recent purchase. This is Bentley for Men Intense. I got this from a drugstore on discount, so it's like £20, and this has been on my list for a while. So the bottle's kind of reminiscent of a kind of a hip flask, and interestingly, it is very boozy. The predominant note is rum, and like I said, that Saint Hilaire Power smells a lot like that one. Smells a lot like this, and yeah, this is just very boozy, spicy. A lot of like reviews on YouTube warned you that it's not blind buy worthy, that you might hate it. And at first I honestly wasn't sure. I did a try out unboxing of this that you can watch when I first got it a few months ago, and I wasn't sure about it, but I don't hate it at all, and actually it's grown on me. And I tried it on, like, yeah, relatives, they quite like it as well. Haven't tried it on my fiance yet, because I didn't bring this when I went to America, but we'll get on to what I did bring to America during my winter trip lately. But very classy, very boozy, really nice for a very, very, very cold winter night, and we've had a few of those. So again, I've worn this a few nights in a row just to get used to it. So when I buy a new fragrance, I like to maybe give it a few goes every night to wear it. Because the other thing I do is, because it's a bit of an OCD thing, but if there's a fragrance that I'm just like, oh, it's okay, I like it, but I'm not loving it, I will just wear it night after night just to get through it, just as kind of like an after I work out in the evening, I'll wear a fragrance just as a sort of afterwards get through it fragrance. I had a few of those. Like there was a Narciso Rodriguez for him, which is an amazing fragrance. It's now discontinued, but the bottle was leaky and I sort of got a bit bored of it after a while, and I appreciate it, but yeah, it was like a sort of wet concrete green, mulchy green smell. I really appreciate it, but I got bored of it, so I would blast that until I ran out, and it seemed to last me ages though. So that's Bentley for Men Intense. I'd like to try the other Bentley fragrances actually. I hear they're quite good. They've done a few. So alright, next, this is my newest fragrance. This is it. So and it's not Carolina Herrera, it's this one. I got it for my birthday. You can see that in my birthday presents video, which was my last video. Yeah, this is Zadig & Voltaire. This is him. Vibes of Freedom. And this was a present. My mum bought me this for my birthday, which was in February. And I have been wearing it just when I first got it, just to wear it, to test it out. I smelt it on a card, and then I saw it was on discount. So when I was visiting my mum, she went ahead and bought it for me because it was for a really good price. So I was really happy with that, and I really like it. It hasn't got very good reviews on YouTube, unfortunately. People say it's generic. If people don't like it, it's a lavender sandalwood scent. Very musky to me. It actually smells a lot nicer on skin than it does on than the actual, when you sniff the thing, you know, the nozzle there. Some fragrances smell the same, but this changes when you spray it on skin, which I appreciate. And I own the original Zadig and Voltaire in a black bottle. I love that one. So yeah, very musky. Yeah, it threatens to be like, there's one called Le Beau Jardin by Jean-Paul Gaultier, which I don't like. It's like a fig note, which, this musky fig coconut note, which gets in my throat. And this threatens to go in that direction, but it pulls back, and it's actually very pleasant. I really like it. I love the bottle design with the carved rock taken out as well. So okay, that's Zadig and Voltaire. This is him. Vibes of freedom. Alright, last one for this part. And please check out part 2, just because I didn't want to do a long video. I wanted to break it up. This is 212 VIP by Caroline Black, by Carolina Herrera. 212 VIP Black. And again, I kept seeing this in Superdrug on discount. I'd smell it, spray it on the card, and I found it really nice, almost like warm, comforting. It has this like absinthe note, which is very distinctive, but then it dries down to like this, again, lavendery, warm, spicy, inviting scent. People call it a clubbing scent, so it's in the vein of like Paco Rabanne 1 Million, and it's got that warm feeling. I love Paco Rabanne 1 Million. I used to own it. I don't have it anymore. For me, this doesn't last very long, unfortunately, but I get where people are coming from. On a night out, it's got that warm projecting thing that will cut through, you know, if you're in a nightclub full of people, which I wouldn't do, but for me it's just a really nice, warm, not really fresh, like fresh, warm scent. And I think you could wear this year round as well. Like I said, on my skin it doesn't last very long, unfortunately. But I do like it. I just got the little 50ml one, and I've been really blasting this. I blast it quite a lot, like, because it doesn't last very long, but I do like the initial smell that I get. I've often like wore it during the day and then topped it up at night, or even topped it up twice at night, you know, because I find that it's just doesn't last as long, unless I become like anosmic to it, where you're not smelling it but other people are. I don't know. But I've seen other people on Fragrantica say it doesn't last as long. Sometimes it depends on the batch that you get as well. So, yeah. Alright, that's it. That's the end of part 1 of my winter fragrance wearing. I have worn a lot of fragrances this long winter. It's like the first day of spring was yesterday. So, join me for